Within 2 weeks from now, we will know the full roster for Jump Force. Considering the small amount of time between now and then, speculation is running more wild than ever. I've talked before about the 5 remaining characters a lot in the past, but I want to focus specifically on the female roster. Currently, Jump Force's female roster offers Rukia, Boa, Galena, Kaguya, and Creator Character. These are our only female playable characters. Bandai on a few different occasions have actually teased additional female characters. One of those times was a while ago, like a really long time ago, before Boa was initially revealed. I believe Rukia was our only female character in the game besides Galena, but she wasn't confirmed playable at the time. Since then, they've announced Boa, Kaguya, and they've confirmed that Galena is playable. But that's not the only time Bandai has teased additional female characters. Recently, in fact, before the reveal of Kaguya, when asked directly about female characters, Bandai said yes, there are more female characters, as in multiple, on the way, but the roster will primarily remain male. Since that statement from Bandai, only Kaguya has been announced as an additional female character. Galena was also announced as playable, so it's possible that we're done with female characters, but I'm assuming that we've got at least one more to go based on that statement, because we knew the whole time that Galena was in the game, we just didn't know if she was playable. I actually think there's a pretty decent chance that we get 2 remaining female characters, but I do think that would be the limit. I don't see us getting 3 more female characters. I think it would be 2 or 1. If it's 1 female character, I think the answer is pretty obvious as to who it would be. I think it would be Medaka. Not only because she is one of the few female main characters from Weekly Shonen Jump, but the voice actor who plays Medaka has been asked specifically about whether she'll be playing Medaka again in the future. This has happened on multiple occasions now, and she mostly responds in a very wait-and-see kind of way. Medaka right now is kind of a dead franchise. The company who was animating the anime no longer even exists. It's a dead company, literally. There certainly isn't a game happening anytime soon, so what else would the voice actor be working on, Medaka related, other than Jump Force? Some people thought that this account was actually a bot account, and it is, but a lot of Japanese singers have bot accounts that just tweet random things like food and song lyrics and stuff like that. It's just a way to engage with fans while not engaging with fans, but she does actually reply to fans. That part is really her, it's not a bot. But then when asked specifically about another season of Medaka and whether that will ever happen, she basically says no. Her response is, I wish. So if she says I wish to a new season of Medaka, but laughs and tries to hide what's going on with Jump Force and Medaka, I don't know. It seems like if she wasn't working on Jump Force, she would very much be like, oh, I wish she had a chance to get a Jump Force or something like that. But trying to hide something is very indicative of that thing. So I'm pretty sure Medaka is in Jump Force, either as a base roster character or a DLC character. For now, I'm going to assume base roster until we know otherwise. Now, that could be the only female character in the remaining roster, but if there was an additional female character, if there was going to be 2 female characters in the remaining roster, let's take a look at some female characters and decide whether they are applicable or not. Sadly, most of the popular and notable female characters aren't in the running because of various reasons. Hinata and Sakura, 2 characters who I previously thought had a pretty decent chance of showing up in the roster, are pretty much deconfirmed at this point because, as far as we know, the Naruto roster is complete with Boruto. Despite the fact that he does count as his own franchise, it looks like, as far as roster size is concerned, they're counting him as the 6th Naruto rep. Kagura would need Gintoki to be in the game, Lena Lee would need Alan Walker to be in the game. Lala feels like more of a DLC character to me because I just don't see how they're going to handle her in the story. I don't see that one happening. And Yoruichi would need us to get a 5th Bleach representative, which I don't think is going to happen. However, there are 2 pretty heavily marketable franchises that are very important to Weekly Shonen Jump right now with notable female characters whose series and franchise is currently lacking representation on the roster right now, and that's My Hero Academia and Black Clover. My Hero Academia's Ochako Uraraka is very popular among fans, obviously not to the level of a character like Bakugo, but that might just be the exact reason that Uraraka would be base roster and Bakugo would be DLC. That being said, I do think Bakugo would take the slot before Uraraka, especially when you consider the recent tease of Bakugo. Bakugo seems infinitely more likely. On the Black Clover side, however, I do think Noelle is actually more likely than Yuno. Noelle is much more present in the story of Black Clover, and if you assume that by the time DLC is out, Black Clover would have had 3 representatives. If you assume they're going to get 1 base roster character and 1 DLC character, putting them up to 3 characters, I would be surprised if Noelle wasn't one of those 3. With that in mind, if it's between Yuno and Noelle, one of them had to be DLC and one of them have to be base roster, I think for marketing purposes alone, Yuno would be a more effective DLC character than Noelle. Also, I think Noelle is much easier to write into the Jump Force story than Yuno is. So there you go. There you've got my thoughts on the remaining female characters for the roster. If there's 1 female character, it's Medaka. If there's 2 female characters, it's Medaka and Noelle. Although I do think there's a handful of characters in the running. Yoruichi is one of them, but I don't think she's anywhere near as likely as, say, Medaka or Noelle or even Uraraka. And there's probably a handful of other characters I could have mentioned. Shayna from Saint Seiya, obviously her voice actor is in the game, but I think she's actually playing creator character rather than an additional character she's played in the past, because of course she also plays Kaguya, and I don't think Arale would ever be playable in this type of game, and I'm sure there's other female characters I'm missing, but I certainly think that these are the most likely. Let me know what female characters you want to see in Jump Force. With only 5 slots remaining, it's getting really hard to get some more female characters in here. I'm somebody who quite enjoys playing female characters when I play fighting games, so the lack of female characters in Jump Force is a little bit frustrating to me, but if any of these females make it into the roster, I'll be happy. There's already some awesome females on the roster. Characters like Rukia, characters like Galena is awesome. I'm less interested in Boa, but I'm sure between creator character, Rukia, Galena, and possibly these additional female characters we've been talking about, I'll be able to have at least one of those on my main team. If you enjoyed the video, I'd appreciate a like. It helps other people find the video. Subscribe to keep up to date with future content. My name's been Bilbsy, and I will see you in the next video.